Welcome to the Music Theory course, Lesson 1. It may frighten you just a little that I've got a keyboard here, but don't worry, this is a very predominantly guitar-based course. But some things are most easily visualized on a keyboard. So, the way I'm going to do this is try and limit videos to one concept. So, the videos will keep coming thick and fast because I'm going to keep them short and limited to one concept. So if you get a video and you get to the end and you're like, oh, yeah, that was cool, but I kind of already knew that, or I get that, what's next? Don't worry, the next one is coming quick. And I'm going to also make them very basic. And I mean, you're going to feel like you've gone back to Sesame Street, but that's fine because some of the music theory things we're going to deal with later on, when we get to modes and all sorts of things, are going to be very complex concepts. But I'm still going to explain them to you like you're 5 years old. And that way, hopefully you'll just get it all. Also, if there's something you don't get, if you want something repeated, or if you want something explained better in a different video, and I can do a new video, just leave comments. Think of this like a school. Just put some comments in. I'll reply to whatever I can, which is, at this point in time, is everything. And I will, even if necessary, do another video to explain it different. Just make sure you understand it all of these little bite-sized chunks. So, the first thing today, we're going to deal with the most basic thing in music. It's like the atoms. It's the notes. In case you don't know the notes, what they are, why they exist, what they're called, that's what we're going to cover right now. Okay, repeat after me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Even sing it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. However you remember it, that's cool. You just named every single white key on a piano. Every single one. But there's 88 keys. How does that work? Because they go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You get the idea. All the way up the keyboard. When you make it from one A to another one, that's called going one octave higher. If you go from one A down to another one, that's called going one octave lower. So that's what an octave is. Now I started on A for the sake of the alphabet, but it's cyclical. So if it starts on C, you can go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's just cyclical. Whatever note you start on, you go through them all up to the next one and you've gone up an octave. So on the piano, it's 88 keys. I don't know. You can guess 7 octaves. I don't know. But basically, that's every single white note on the piano. Let me demonstrate. Okay, at the keyboard here, you're going to have to forgive me here. I'm holding the camera, so this could get interesting. But here's an A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Then we keep going. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now it keeps going like that. These black notes are the sharps and flats, which I'll get to in a minute. But you'll notice on a keyboard, it looks the same the whole way up. Group of 2 black keys, group of 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys. It's like a tongue twister. 2 black, 3 black, 2 black, 3 black. You get there all the way to the end. That's because if you look at a section of the keyboard, 2, 3, back to 2, it's the same all over. So basically, if you look here, if you start on an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, then it starts again. So every time you see that key that is in the group of 3 in that position, that's always an A. So if you pick another key, say F sharp, which we'll learn about in a minute, that first one in the group of 3 is always F sharp. Like that. You're just going up an octave. There's F sharp. 1 octave higher is that F sharp. 1 octave higher is that F sharp. So whatever key you start on, let's start all the way down here on a D, like that. Then, basically, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. We're back to that same position. In between the two there is a D. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Same position. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. You get the idea. So now I'll explain what the black keys are. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. Back to the piano. So now sharps and flats. We've covered A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now the black keys. They're your sharps and flats. So by the time you've got the white keys and the black keys, you know every note in music. So sharps and flats sit in between those other notes we talked about, and I'm going to show you exactly in a second back at the keyboard. But a few things to think of. To sharpen a note in music means to take it up one note. So from wherever it is to the next possible note. To flatten a note means to take it from where it is down one to the next possible note. So if you lay out all notes, which we will in a minute, sharpening is going from here to the next possible note up. Actually, I don't know what direction that is you're seeing, but flattening is to take it to the next possible note down. I'll demonstrate this visually in a minute. So when you see the names of notes like A sharp, it's just a name. It might as well be called bird, dog, camel. It's just a name. So it's like with the orange. They looked at it and they thought, well, it's coloured orange. Let's call it an orange. It's like they looked at A sharp and went, well, it's a sharpened A. Let's call it A sharp. So I will demonstrate this now with the keyboard, and then you will know every single note. Back at the keyboard again. Here's the A, and we went A, B, C before. But what's that note? A something B. So when you go like this, you're playing every note in order. So what that means is this note here is higher in pitch than this one, but lower in pitch than that one. This note here, if we get the A and we sharpen it, we get a note called A sharp. If we get the note B and we flatten it, we get a note B flat. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. Is this A sharp or B flat? The answer is it's both. The key the song is in determines whether you call it A sharp or B flat. Either way, it's exactly the same note. So it doesn't matter. If you accidentally called it A sharp when it was supposed to be called B flat, you know what? You still played the right note. It doesn't matter to the listener. So in certain keys, that'll be called A sharp. In certain other keys, that'll be called B flat. So let's run through them. A sharp, B. Now, what goes on here? There is no such thing as B sharp or C flat. Hence the joke in The Simpsons when he called his singing group the B sharps and they all laughed. Probably an insider's joke there, but there is no B sharp. There is no C flat. So if you're going to play all notes in order, A sharp, B, C. C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, once again, no such thing as E sharp or F flat, straight to F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, and we're back to A. So remember, each of these notes has two names. It's a something sharp or a something flat. It's the same note either way. It's just whatever key the song is in, that's whether it's called the D sharp or the E flat. So every single note in music that exists. So if you look at a guitar and you can't hit a note that isn't one of these. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. And guess what happens at that point? We're up the octave. So it all just repeats. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Now you know every single note in music. Let's summarize it and pull out a guitar. All right, kids, eyes to the front, focus on the board. As you can see, I've spared no expense here. These are all the notes you just learnt. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. Every single note in music. So, you got to memorize them. But alternatively, you can think of it like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Every note has a sharp, or sometimes called a flat, in between them, except B and C don't, and E and F don't. So if you remember that, and you put your brain into practice there, you will get out A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Well, A. I think that should cover it. If you have any questions, throw them into the comments. And we're going to get on to keys next. But before then, back to the keyboard for a pop quiz. All right, pop quiz. Let's do this. I'm going to start on a G. If I was to sharpen a G, what note would I go to? You can always pause if you want to think about it. You would go to a G sharp. If I wanted to flatten a G, what note would I go to? F sharp or G flat, whatever you want to call it. Remember, sharpening a note is going to the very next available note, and flattening a note is going down to the very next available note. Okay, so if I was to sharpen a B, what do I get? This may confuse some people. There isn't a note called a B sharp, but remember the act of sharpening a note means taking it to the next available note. So that means going from B to C. So if you sharpen a B, you get a C. If you flatten a C, you get a B. Same thing happens with E and F. So here is a G. If I wanted to play G one octave higher, which if you remember is the same note, just higher in pitch. Well, on a piano, it's easy. You can go, well, its position is one above that first group of three. So same thing up there. There's a G. There's a G. Or you could go G, G sharp A sharp B, C, C sharp D, D sharp E, F, F sharp, G. And you're all the way back there. Okay, guitar now. So, one important thing to remember with music theory and all this stuff, when you change instruments, theory does not change. So, all that stuff you just learned about the notes, you don't have different notes on a guitar. You don't have different notes on any other instrument. Those are all the notes in music. This will have exactly the same notes as a piano. Just you got to find them in a different way because we're dealing with strings and frets rather than keys. So one thing you're going to find is piano is easier to visualize what you do in one key than just moving it up. Guitar is easier to visualize what you do in a key and then to change keys. You'll see later on. Don't think about that too much now. But if we were to play all the same notes we just played on the piano, if you start from the second string, the A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A. So that's your octave above the other A. Just like on the piano when we had the octave, like that. Then you can keep going. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. I won't make it up to A again there. But that's why we have other strings. So you can get through all the notes like that. So remember, it doesn't matter what note you start from to finish on. It's all just circular. So you don't have to start for A. I'm just picking A at random. Pick any note. Say we got the E here. Then you go, every time you go up a fret, it goes up to the next possible available note, just like on the keyboard when you went through every single note. So the next possible note above E, is F, because there is no E sharp, remember? Then F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, because there is no B sharp, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And then we can keep going again. So yes, all of these notes are on the guitar as well. I heard a story somewhere about when Joe Satriani used to teach Steve Vai, and apparently the very first lesson he said to Steve, go away and learn every single note on the guitar neck. And Steve, of course, didn't, being a 13-year-old kid, went away, came back, thought, like that. And then Joe reprimanded him, and Steve went away the next week and learned every single one. Learning notes, there's not a quick way to it. You now know how to find your notes, and you can memorize them as you want. You don't need to at this point. We're going to go on and do other stuff and have a lot of fun. But eventually, to be a really cool guitarist, you will need to know every note on the neck. So that's it for lesson 1. Let me know if you have questions. This hasn't been useful yet for getting you to play, but I said I was going to do things all the way from the ground up really basically, and that's what this is, right from the ground up, really basic. The next lesson we're going to deal with keys, and that's when you'll start to get a few more ahs, and you'll start to think about soloing, songwriting, things like that, and how certain notes work well together. And that lesson is coming very, very soon. I plan on churning these out quick. So any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for sticking around this far, and I will see you in the next one.